Give us some updates concerning the ongoing elections as of the day or as of the time of recording this video. This is 2023 here in Nigeria. And there is something I found quite interesting concerning how the person of Buhari actually voted. You know, there has been so many speculations that Buhari is not in support of the candidacy of the ruling party, which also is member of the party. And it has been given a lot of body language, you know, looking at the policies that we just had recently, talking about the redesigning of Naira, which a whole lot of people believe it was targeted against the candidacy of the person of Bola Tinubu Ahmed. There has been a whole lot of, you know, sentiments towards that the person of Buhari is not in support of. It's not in support of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that might be the reason why when he voted, we saw him, you know, displaying what he actually voted, just like saying that, come on, you people think I'm against Tinubu, but yeah, I am voting for Tinubu. And this is pattern of voting and displaying what he actually voted was contrary to what was seen the last time he voted. You know, there has been this insinuation that the person of Buhari has this kind of trust issue. I mean, what is the reason? Why would you have to show it to the world, show it to the people that you actually voted for your party? Well, that aside, moving on to prophecies for 2023 concerning the general election, of course, which has been conducted as of the time of recording this video. Now, I found the prophecy quite interesting and quite revealing. And I'm sure you must have seen this video of the person. You must have seen this video of the person of Bishop Feyi, where he talked about Osibanjo eventually becoming heading an interim government, and he will be offered the position of the president, which he might take, or might not take.
If you understand many things I've said over the years, you begin to understand them by these things I say. About 2 years ago, you remember I told you that the second shall become the first. Do you remember? And by that I refer to the highest apex seat of power in Nigeria. And I didn't tell you that it's going to be 5 years time or in another government. I said in this government. That was all the Lord told me, and that was all I said. Today's date is what? Shout it. 19th of 2023. All right. If you ask me a straight question on the road and just say, Feyi, who will be the next president of Nigeria after Buhari? My answer will shock you, but you will understand later, because the ways of the prophet is different from the ways of man. If you ask me on the road, just walking on the road, and you did not ask me to explain anything, and say, sir, after Buhari, who is the next president of Nigeria? Do you know the name? I'll tell you. Yemi Osinbajo. Except when the man says no, but mark my word, he will be offered. The presidential election will be peaceful. Don't be afraid. There will not be killings. Go out and vote. However, so because there is no money to buy vote, he will lose in the polls. But already there is a partnership with a man in the system that will cause the vote to be rigged. So suddenly I saw the numbers dropping, and I saw INEC announcing BAT as the winner. However, follow me. I even saw what he was wearing. He was announced winner, and we will see a video where we'll do like this. The video will trend. Because I've lived in a revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming. People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work. You will be in your houses. Future. Follow me. It will be declared winner on falsehood. The Lord, I saw Peter will be crying, red eye in tears, proper tears. I saw Atiku like this. I told Atiku 4 years ago, I told this team 4 years ago that he will never become the president of Nigeria. But follow me carefully. A revolution is coming. A greater than NSAS is coming. People, the doors will be shut. You will not go to work. You will be in your houses. How will this revolution start? Hear me. How will the revolution start? Somehow the information will spill out that the election was rigged. Then the youth will get to the street. It won't just be Lagos. It will be almost every state of Nigeria. The youth will get to the street and they will start the protests. These protests will lead to a revolution. Hear me? Peter Obi will go to court. He will go to court. And the day for swearing him to Nubu will come. I saw white, I saw green. About to be sworn in that day. And everybody that I said is the next president will be rejoicing. And while at that event, it looks like a very open ground, like a stadium like center. I'm telling you what will happen. So while at that event, military men will come in and they will arrest Tinubu. I'm playing a movie before you, Abi. So that you will know that prophecy is not just calling people's name. Mark my words. I'm speaking from my office. I'm not speaking by a gift. He'll be arrested. And at that point, an interim government will rule Nigeria. The interim government that will rule Nigeria would not be military. It's not a coup. The military will partner with the interim government and they would ask who should be put on the throne. Buhari will say, I'm done. I'm for peace. And they will say, make Oshibajo the next. Now, for fear of previous relationship of Oshibajo with Bat, Oshibajo might say, I don't want. If he says so, they will look for another. That's the only condition. But what I saw was that Oshibajo accepted and he became a president. But that side has a question mark, a condition to it. Before the 29th, the swearing in day, when Bat will be taken. Before that day, when Bat will be taken, I saw Peter will be arrested and detained by DSS after the election. Because he's coming to play the role of somewhat like a Messiah, but not the way you define Messiah. And the way Messiah suffers, he must suffer. You'll be arrested and detained. When moment that is done, please stay in your houses. The moment that is done, the revolution and the riots will increase. There will be killings. There will be destruction of properties. In the election, number one, in numbers of votes will be Obi. Number two will be Bat. Number three will be Atiku. However, like I told you, it will be rigged. And you hear number one is Bat, number two is Obi, number three is Atiku. I saw United Nations intervening. After Tinubu is taken away, I think released for a while, he will also go to court. The interim government will not be long. No. The interim government will not be long, and after a while, the court will declare Obi as winner of the election. and I saw Peter Obi in Aso Rock. I saw him giving speech as a president of Nigeria, but not May 29th.
Now, what he said, as you have seen in this video, is quite revealing. I mean, what is it going to look like? I for a person, I have not witnessed an interim government, and everything you have seen him said here is quite interesting, because it's not more like the popular kind. It's not like the popular prophecies we've got to see prophet come to predict. That's where I've seen a whole lot of them coming up on the social media space. And more so, the person of Prophet Jesse Jangfa has also said something like this sometime in 2018 or 2019. I can't actually remember, because then I've not started doing YouTube, so there was no need for me to actually save the video as of then when he said it. But I do remember very well, I watched that video in one of his program, and the person of Prophet Jesse Jangfa, I'm sure most of you might not actually know him on this YouTube space, but he's a trusted son and one of the most loyal son to the person of Apostle Aremosai. And I remember back then, either 2018 or 2019, he came out and said he saw the second man becoming the first. He saw the second man becoming the first. And that time, a lot of people interpreted it as though if maybe eventually there are going to be an impeachment, or there are going to be an impeachment for Buhari, and Osibanjo will eventually mount seats. So I didn't actually understand what that prophecy meant. And if you can, one thing you will understand, if you have watched what Bishop Feyi actually said, he said it boldly. He said that since the time he made that prophecy, whoever that asked him, since the time he made his prophecy, because this is not the first time he said this. This is not the video you are currently seeing circulating is not the first time he has actually come out. He has actually come out to talk about Osibanjo becoming the president. You know, he said since the time he made that pronouncement that if anybody comes to ask him on the streets, he will always tell that person the next president of Nigeria after Buhari is going to be the person of Osibanjo. And now, just like I said, this kind of their words is not the very popular prophecies we're going to see from a whole lot of prophets. Most of their prophecies, I consider it as prediction. I mean, for the likes of the person of Passion Java.
And I saw a man. To be honest, when it comes to Nigeria, I know people like Dibanj, people like Davido. I don't even know politics. I don't even know the name of the president who's there right now. But spiritually, I see a man with glasses. He is of old age. He's not like a youthful man. And I see him wearing glasses. And I see a name as a T.
Said he saw the person with the name T. And he said he saw the person with the name T. I mean, I was asking myself when I saw this prophecy, I mean, the three major candidates have the T in their name. So this is one of the way they get to talk with both sides of their mouths. So tomorrow, if eventually Peter Obi comes to become the president, he can come and tell you, well, from the name I saw the name T. It was not very clear. You know, you don't understand spiritual things, you know, that kind of thing. And if Atiku even become the president, you also hear him coming out to say, well, I saw the name T, and it's not very clear, and you know, spiritual things and all of that. You know, also the name of Tinubu also has T in it. So whenever I get to see people like that, I don't consider them as prophecy. I see them as prediction. But for these prophets, now I'm not trying to say what they are saying is going to come to pass. But to me, we are all expecting and believing, trusting God that Peter Obi will eventually become our president. So, but that aside, from what he just said, you could see the boldness in them coming out. You could see the boldness in the likes of Bishop Feyi coming out to say this. He said it again, and he has been saying it over and over to tell you that, come on, maybe perhaps he is very sure and is ready for his name. He's ready to stake his name in what he's saying. And also, just like I said, Prophet Jesse Jangfa also coming out to say, and this is a prophet that we don't get to see coming out to, you know, publicize prophecies, coming out to publicize prophecies that comes out through him. You know, And that is why you might not get to see a whole lot of him, a whole lot about him on the social media. But however, our hands are crossed and we are watching and seeing everything unfold. But till then, when we eventually of course trusting God that Peter will be months on the seat, we are still here and we'll keep updating you if anything comes up. Till then,